Each of them went to ICU, and he went on the run. I got to see pictures of him in the news article, and this man covered in a turtle suit and 20 cops around him, checking up on the news articles. And when he would go to court, the news would always show up. And later down the line, I was at the end. When you go to court and you're fighting cases that you're getting a lot of time, he would come back, and I'd be at my dumb self, looking at 3 years, 2 years, oh, I just want to get high, I just want to use. He's just like, man, you gotta get your stuff straight. And I was like, man, I don't gotta get nothing right, you know what I mean? And he's like, man, they just offered me 120 years. 120 years. So how it works is basically you're fighting for your life in the court system when you make a mistake. Long story short, when he went through the process, I mean, his deals were like 120 years, 90 years, and for the grace of God, his parents forgave him. So, long story short, he went to court. He got a 25-year sentence with it was a 25 ran concurrent, but then a 15-year sentence run consecutive. So he got 40 years. And after this man got 40 years, man, he really looked at his life. He's like, man, I'm not doing any more drugs. If they hit here, they come here, I'm not doing them. I'm not getting them. He's like, I want you to do good. He's like, I don't want you to get them. And people be like, that was your cellmate, and he just smashed people with a freaking wrench, got 40 years in your mind. And it's like, people make mistakes. I know it's crazy, it's horrible, and I'll tell you the good side of it, His parents were at all his court hearings. They were always there, And they didn't want their boy to go away, But the crimes were so heinous, I believe his dad had brain damage from it, and he was going to be gone. So, after I get out of prison, I always look up his time, remember the time with him, and look up his 40-year sentence, And it just reminds me, like how fast 10 seconds can take your life, So, the good story to this part was, out of nowhere, I get on Codell's stuff. And I knew his parents were very interactive in his case. You know what I mean? They forgave him. They didn't want their boy going for a long time. So 8 years later, I look on his case, and I don't know what all happened, but I promise y'all, you can look this up. Codell Lotes in Colorado DOC, 40-year sentence. It turned into an 8-year sentence. He got sent home, and he's home. And I know it sounds crazy that a guy that got 40 years and hit people with the hammer, man, this guy was not like it. It was nuts. He was working out with me every day. He was fit. He had a cool personality, man. After what he did to his parents, he didn't have no help, but he was very humble. He was really chill. It was crazy to just be like that, So, Codell, if you see this, man, best of luck. Hit it up. It's Rockefeller. I don't know if you can remember, a long time ago, but we did do a year in a jail cell. So, yeah, hit me up. I'm going to get into my second story. So, you hit DRDC, and they want these lifers to talk to you. And they got some pretty good stories, but one that really caught me was how 10 seconds can change your life. So, I'm not gonna say his name, but I'll speak on it. And it was I kind of don't want to speak what let's just say he's a white gentleman that comes in and speaks to newcomers and people that are coming back and forth, and he tells a story. And pretty much, he was hanging out with this girl at a bar, chilling. He's just with his girl having a good time. He comes out, someone says something slick, and he turns around and hits the dude. Not thinking nothing. Thinking, I'm trying to look good in front of my girl. I'm not letting anyone disrespect my girl. I want, you know, I want to protect her. So when he hits the guy, boom, hits him in the chin. And however the reason, right? This actually, I've seen this happen twice, y'all. So even fighting can take away your life forever. It's crazy. I've seen it happen twice. Or heard it happen, seen paperwork, straight up, no love on it. Like someone died, eye for eye. So when dude gets hit, boom, he fell some weird way and smashed his head on the concrete from one hit. And it just takes someone awkwardly to fall and hit their head. Anyways, the cops came, you know, dude died in there and he got charged with murder, and I think he did do a prison bid before that. It wasn't a hardcore prison bid, but that kind of stuck with him. And they showed no love. They said that you get life. And this man would sit with us, man. And especially us coming in, that kind of hit me hard because it's like, I'm only sitting there, 3-year sentence. I'm going to be right back out. I get another chance. And a lot of these guys, man, like, they can come back into society. And I feel like it's not right. I feel like there are some people, too, that need to just be where they're at. The system is very broken. But I think he was already over 10, 11 years, He's trying to just do all these speeches so he could just hear that he's doing the work for people to get out. So 10 seconds changed his life from just trying to impress a girl coming out of a bar, hit a dude wrong. And if y'all ever went to DRDC in Colorado, y'all can double check this and you know who I'm talking about. And, yeah, dude died. I'm gonna give you my last third story. And there was this African American guy, and this time I was actually in minimum security in like Adams County. I wasn't looking at nothing big, and we called this dude Bear. He looked like a cuddly bear. He would even talk like a cuddly bear, And he got sentenced for this. He got life, and sad, man. This dude was like the coolest guy ever playing cards. If you needed something, he was fine. It wasn't like, take advantage of it, but like he would look out, we would make spreads, we would make cool, you know what I mean? And he was just seems like a chill guy, and like, really soft with his voice. I'm like, what are you doing here? Actually, I didn't personally ask him because that's kind of like a mind your business thing. But I asked someone else. I said, "Dude, what's up with Bear?" I was like, "He's been here long," and my dumb, I literally kept coming back and forth to jail. I would literally come out and then do a couple weeks and literally come back in and come back to the same pod. And luckily, my points didn't go back up because it was just stupid stuff I was doing. So homeboy gets into the story, and he basically was that kind of the other situation. Dude comes out, calls him out, calls him this and that, and he doesn't want to look weak. I mean, dude's a really nice, soft guy, at least of what I've seen. He could hold his own, but he wasn't like on that Debo kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna take your stuff, I'm gonna extort you, none of that. He was a hella chill, right? So what happened was he was getting some blunts out of I don't know, a convenience store. And when he would come out of the convenience store, he saw a dude that used to have an issue with his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, or something like that. So of course, as men, we got pride. We got pride. We don't want, you know what I mean? This dude has done me wrong, done my homegirl wrong. I want to take care of it. So dude Bear calls this dude out. And dude's like, oh yeah, whatever. Pretty much in the situation, 10 seconds can ruin your life, man. So, they were fighting at this, like, really, really, kind of uneven area. And, I would try to say it's kind of like an uphill, like, it's just where the situation they're at, and they're like, we're gonna throw down right now. So they square up, and from what I've heard, and you're gonna hear a lot of this in jail, that Bear was a trained fighter, and that you could actually get charges for, if you're trained, you know what I mean, that your fist can be used as a deadly weapon. So Bear has actually had training from what I've heard from the story. But I did see his paperwork. I did see his sentence. And you know, people in life, serving life, aren't just like killers. You know what I mean? Codell, he did something crazy. Like I don't condone that. Like to smash someone with a wrench is crazy, but got 40 years for it, and no one died. I mean, people did get injured. Yeah. So they square up. Bear's a trained fighter. This guy thinks he's on a whole new planet. Like he just became Conor McGregor in one hit. Like he could take on anyone. So they square up, and Bear just comes back with the bop bop and hits him. Same thing happened, man. And it just blows my mind that I heard the same type of story, you know what I mean, through people about how 10 seconds changed your life. Bear hits the dude so hard, you know what I mean? The situation was a little bit different. Dude hits his head, boom, and then Bear just gets off and teeing on him. Bop, 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 bop. So, Bear, calms down and gets up. Dude ain't moving. Dude's dead. And, from what I'm understanding, then Bear went on the run. He got caught up, and then he just tried to fight his case. But I mean, it was caught under surveillance or whatever, a camera somewhere, and it's a crazy situation, man. When you see these plea bargains that these guys get, and how much they would just appreciate a breath of fresh air. When I got out of jail, man, I always told myself, like, I kind of want to go back for a day to bring back all the chaos and the nuts and the restrictions and the freedom lost and the privileges and everything like that, just to give me a reminder of how much we need to appreciate out here, how much we can step out that door and take a breath, and how much we are lucky enough to get into a trade and work a job. I'm a 3-time felon, and during this whole situation, I luckily got into welding and a school, and that makes it a lot easier for me to get a job. So it is possible. But on Bear's situation, he ended up, pleas all came the same. Basically, when you have a high profile case, they're not showing you nothing. So they come to you with 150 years. I've straight up seen it. Like, 150 years is your plea bargain. Like, ain't no one gonna play. That's just because they're planning to take you to trial. Like, they want to make an example out of you. So Bear would go and get life. It's a sad story, man. And I always think about that too. I always think about that when I get in a fight or a disagreement. And I'm gonna give a shout out to my girl, Nikki, Colorado, man. And just died. Not just died, but I kind of mixed out of the scene. It was my best friend's girlfriend growing up. Sweetest girl ever, man. Don't know how the situation happened, but pretty much from a creep. And just kind of liked the dude, let the dude move in. Wasn't really feeling him, asked him to move out. Dude snapped. And y'all can check this up. It's her name is Nikki Baldwin, and she was stabbed like 37 times in a hotel. And dude lost it and killed her, man. And it's just crazy what, you know, let's see, Codell had no prior, you know, violence or charges before that. When I talked to him, he said he did time at Boulder County for 3 days. That was it. Bear, he had no time before that. The dude from prison did do a prison stint, yes. But for the violent actions to get life, like they didn't show any signs of it. It just took one thing to set them off and one bad choice, and someone died. And in the USA, their way of looking at it is an eye for an eye. You know, you took someone's life, so your life needs to be gone. You know, so I try to look back to all that. You know, my homegirl getting stabbed. It's crazy, man. Um, got some more stories. You know, I got some things I can get in about, you know, people I grew up with drug addictions and took their own lives and overdose. We know we've all dealt with that. Sad, sucks. But the prison 101 thing I want to tell y'all is when you're out here, appreciate being out here, y'all. I'm telling you, it just takes one bad move to ruin your life. You may have been in multiple fights. You may have it just ended up into a fight. And it seems like nothing. So it just kind of becomes second nature. I wasn't that type of person, but I did hang out with someone like that. And then you just hit a person wrong, or something just weird happens and he falls wrong, or you hit him and he actually comes into a car and you're held liable, you know? So, my message, y'all, when this type of situation happens, y'all need to sit back, you know what I mean, and think about what can happen. You know, dude's testing you, you know, like the dude sat down, talked to me, and told me, he's like, man, if I knew I was going to be spending 25 years to life in prison over hitting a dude one time and smacking his head on the concrete to die, you definitely know I would never hit this man, man. And he told me, man, I just want you to do good. I want you to be good and not make any choices to come back here. So, these are all true stories too, man. I'm not going to come up and tell you the wrong stuff, you know. And the good thing is, I haven't reached out to him. I don't really know how to reach out to him and stuff like that, Codell. But yeah, I'm happy he got out, man, because you know he did make a mistake, but he gave 8 years. He did 8 years before that sentence change, and you know his family didn't die, and it can kind of go back and forth. Did the man deserve to serve life, or you know was 8 years enough? But the court found 8 years enough and let him go home. That made me happy, man. That was my cellmate, and then we kicked it every day. You know what I mean? And he trusted me to tell me things in jail. I want to do another reaction video and just explain y'all the biggest thing. Don't talk about your cases in jail. Like, that's crazy. And I kind of want to explain why kind of people do. It's because they're alone. You know what I mean? And sometimes people do feel remorse for what they did. So they have to get it off their back. And now POS is take it as a way to get a time cut, you know what I mean? And that isn't even the one thing that goes off my mind, but it's just I'm happy my boy's out. But I want y'all to think about this. And really, Prison 101 is not to go to prison. So what does that take? That takes about thinking about your choices, bro. If dude comes up to you and disrespects you and everything like that, and you swing, you know what I mean? But I'm not telling you, you know, we're not all Jesus. You know, we're not supposed to have to turn the other cheek. But, you know, dude swings at you, have every right to defend yourself. You know what I mean? But think about it, how this would look in front of other people, regular people of society and stuff like that, when you're making these choices, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to share those three stories that just really stick in my head, man. I was thinking about them the other day, helping my boys out. Bear's doing life. I'm not gonna speak on the other dude because he still does, the talks, and um, you know, he's okay with me sharing his story. I wish I could get these guys. These guys have such an aura. These lifers that give you that feeling they wouldn't even hurt a fly. It's crazy, and how much they know they're never getting out. They know they can't live. So what they want is for you to live. It's crazy, man. But I want y'all to just go out there and appreciate life and really think about your choices. I know it sounds crazy when you hear it from a teacher, you hear it from a jail, not jail, but I don't know, middle school, I had a cop, dare, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But listen from the people that done it and lived it, and accept that advice and really think about your choices, because like I said in this video, 10 seconds can ruin your life. Now, I promise, my name is Scott. My number was 168468. I will never forget that freaking number. And y'all can check all this stuff out, background check it, or whatever. Not background check it, but you know what I'm saying. It's all true stories. So appreciate your life, man. Appreciate your family. Appreciate your kids. The things out here are tough, yeah, believe me. But I guarantee you there's so many guys in prison that would look at this stuff and beg to be out here doing this stuff than what they're doing. Than having to wake up. You're in prison and you're taught pretty much to be a light sleeper. Like, you're taught to have a knife. Like, it's not games, it's not play unless you're in lower security levels. You know what I mean? So I want y'all just to kind of hear these stories out, and I'm going to keep trying to build this channel, give you some reactions and tips and everything if you're going in. Like, comment, and subscribe under there if you have any questions. I did like how 23 and 1, I like him, man. That dude's real. And when you do time, you know the real ones. I do like Jay Will, that dude's real, and you could tell he did medium close time, because the way harder prisons, like, yeah. um Prison after show, I kind of feel like he was at a lower security prison, and he wasn't at a hardcore prison. He just doesn't carry himself that way. You can't carry yourself that way. But to all the real ones listening to y'all, I'm here kicking with y'all. I want y'all to take something from this message and spread it across. Bless y'all and have a good morning, man. Peace out.